Hey there and welcome to another exciting episode of A for Effort, coming to you as always with our quality movie reviews. I'm your host Matt, and as always our podcast is brought to you by our official sponsor, MoviePass. $9.95 a month gets you one movie a day at local theaters around your city. Check MoviePass.com for what theaters are available to you to see all these great movies. Episode 4 of today's podcast is a movie that I wasn't expecting to see. But before we break into what movie I saw, I want to just come back real quick and I had a listener ask me, why did I spoil downsizing? And so I want to just come right in and just say, hey guys, this is going to be spoiler filled. Every review is going to be spoiler filled. I'm going to go through the plots of these movies. I want to break down what I liked and what I didn't like, and I can only do that with spoilers. So again, spoiler warnings, I'll post it on the page. You know, these are going to be spoiler reviews. I apologize in advance if you didn't think they were, but that's the way it's going to be. So the movie I saw was one I wasn't expecting to like nor expecting to see, and that's The Greatest Showman. I had heard many people, no matter who it was, a random lady at the movie theater, to my wife, to a couple of my coworkers, tell me that this movie is amazing. And I came out of it really shocked at how much I did enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to like it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it at all, because I'm not one to see a musical. My wife has forced me into movies such as Sweeney Todd or Mamma Mia, and I just was bored out of my mind. I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting here. But this movie kept me engaged. This movie kept me wanting more, and it was a really, really good movie. So without further ado, we're going to go into the plot. So this movie stars Hugh Jackman. It's directed by Michael Gracie. Stars Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum, and it revolves around his life of what happened to him. From a kid where he was growing up as a tailor's son and had nothing, to who he was and creating the circus. And so he starts off real small, he's got nothing at all. And then it delves into like his childhood of where he came from, and then that's a quick bit in the beginning, and then it moves into P.T. Barnum as an adult, where he meets his wife Charity, who was the daughter of the family that his dad tailored for, and then he told her that when they were kids he was going to give her something, and that's where the movie really finds its plot is, okay, how do I give you the life that you deserve, but I come from a poor family, so I got to find a way to do that. And that's where, but she doesn't care about all that. She cares about the kids and him and having the small things in life rather than the big grand houses and all that stuff. And he starts off as a simple man, has a desk job, and then it moves into, he gets fired, and he's like, okay, I got to come up with something. And he buys this museum of oddities, and it's just a bunch of wax figures of elephants and giraffes and things, and doesn't really do much. But his daughter says to him, it's not about that, it needs to be more about the living. And he comes up with the idea to bring real life oddities, right, to this place. And it's a little person, it's the bearded woman, it's the tattooed man, it's the world's tallest man, it's the world's heaviest man, it's all the circus oddities that make the circus what it is. As the movie, so the movie starts, and he starts collecting these oddities, these people, and he starts giving them jobs and tries to make them feel part of a family. And that's where the movie really dives into a really great plot about the issues that we still plague our society today, about fitting in and being yourself, and bullying and racism and just that pure divide. And it was a really great fundamental story about these things. At one point in the movie, I looked over at my wife, and Zendaya and Zac Efron are singing the song to each other about how they can't be together. And I looked over at my wife and I went, what's wrong with her? Like, she's not really a freak, so to speak, And she goes, babe, it's because she's black. And it blew my mind, because I'm like, we're not from that, right? We don't see that. I don't see that as a problem anymore. And that was a great measure of where we are as a society today, because I didn't even realize that's what we were talking about, and realized, oh wow, this is diving into that as well. And I'm like, holy crap, this is deep. And I was like, okay, I can see why this movie is doing so well, because it's diving into these issues that still plague us a little bit today, But again, I was so shocked, because I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that, because the way I was brought up and everything is we don't see that. see the world that way, and that was so, it's kind of like, oh wow, that's where they're trying to go with this story, and it's like, okay, their portion of the story is that, and that was really cool to see, letting these two be together and their struggle to be together, and that was pretty cool. Again, it was much better than I expected. I don't like musicals, but the music was exceptional. There's some great songs sung by Rebecca Ferguson, who plays Jenny Lind, the opera singer. Kayla Settle, who plays the bearded lady, has a wonderful song called "This Is Me." It's my wife doesn't. I almost know it beat for beat. My wife plays it so much around the house. This movie's exceptionally family friendly. Everyone should see it for that matter. It had a really great story about family and fitting in with that family, and it starts with that P.T. Barnum finding the oddities, and then he becomes bigger than himself. Like, the people of New York are smiling and enjoying his circus, but he keeps wanting more and more and more, and that's when he brings the opera singer from England over to sing, because he wants something, as he calls it, real to show, and then goes on tour with her. She loves him, she wants to be with him, but he doesn't see it. He kind of leads it on, and then it kind of like, it's the downfall of his character throughout the movie, is that he just keeps wanting more and more and more, and it's not for him about the love of the family that he has, of the circus people. They love him and they want him to be around, and because he brought them all together, but he wants just more and more for his family, and even the family's kind of like, dude, you gotta stop at some point, like, just be with us. He goes on tour with this woman so that he can kind of spread his name around. She tries to kiss him and she tries to like be with him, and he realizes, like, dude, I need to go home. Like, it just became too much for Hugh Jackman's character, and so that eventually he goes home. While he's away, the city of New York is kind of like trying to break down the walls of the circus, like, by that which I mean, like, they're trying to like tell them that they don't belong, and that they, because they're freaks and all that stuff, and eventually it gets to the point where a bunch of them come into the theater to watch a show, and then they start fighting with the cast and crew, and then they eventually burn down the circus, and like, this is where the movie kind of takes its turn towards the end. It's like, he lost everything, and now he's got to, but all the circus folk are like, hey, listen, you may have lost that, but you didn't lose us. Like, this is what you should have realized, and that's where, you get that really family story from, and it really was an exceptional film. Keep this one short and sweet. I don't have a lot to say about it more than that. I've been trying to decide what I want to give this movie rating wise, and so I will settle on an A+. That's right, I settled on an A with 1+. It deserves it. It's a phenomenal film. For that, I give it an A+. I, again, can't speak highly of it enough. If you need to see it in the theaters. It's worth it. I promise it's worth it. Definitely see this movie in the movie theaters. And yeah, that's all I have to say about The Greatest Showman. Who haven't seen it, see it. I was a doubter, and now I'm not. Definitely see this movie. It's definitely worth your time to see this movie. And with that, I'll bid you adieu for today. Check us out on soundcloud.com/the number 4 effort_reviews, Twitter @MattyD7155. Give me all the comments, all the reviews. I need it all. Let's keep it coming week in, week out. The followers are getting better on SoundCloud. I'm trying to figure out a way to bridge the gap to YouTube. I will get there, I promise. But until then, please keep listening, please keep reviewing, please keep giving me feedback on how to improve the show. And with that, this has been A for Effort Movie Reviews, and we'll see you again soon with The Commuter.